So good morning friends. Hope all of you are safe and protected from COVID-19. Today we are going to discuss regarding the basic concept on alkaloids. Under this following contents, we will proceed today. Introduction and definition, occurrence and distribution, function of alkaloid, its classification, general method of extraction, and general chemical tests of alkaloid. Let's see one by one. Introduction and definition. The word alkaloid is derived from a German word called Pflanzenkleid. It was coined by Karl Messner and it is derived from a word alkali-like. Most of the alkaloids are basic nitrogenous compound derived from the word alkaline because most of the alkaloids are water-soluble bases. Coming to a little bit of history, in the year 1803, French chemist Darson have isolated narcone, which is a benzyl isoquinoline alkaloid, from opium. Later, morphine was also isolated from opium by Sartiner. Coming to its definition, alkaloids are organic compounds of natural and synthetic origin which are basic in nature and contain one or more nitrogen atom, normally in heterocyclic nucleus. Even in minute quantity, they exhibit specific physiological action in both human and animal. Alkaloids are one of the most potent secondary metabolites identified till now. This nitrogen atom, it may be primary, secondary or tertiary amine, and based on this nitrogen atom, the configuration of nitrogen atom, the basicity of alkaloid determines. This basicity of alkaloid is one of the important criteria for its extraction process. Example, quinine from cinchona bark, strychnine from Nux vomica seed. Next, coming to its distribution, occurrence and distribution, alkaloids from plant kingdom. Mainly, alkaloids are a chemotaxonomical feature in Apocynaceae, Barbaridaceae, Liliaceae, Papaveraceae, Leguminosae, Solanaceae, Rutaceae, all these families, they are found to be present in maximum extent. In leaves, example is Datura, fruit opium, seed Nux vomica, root Rauwolfia, bark cinchona, stem ephedra. These are the different parts of plant and name of the plant from which the alkaloids are obtained. Coming to the next source, natural source from animal kingdom. Bufotenin, it is obtained from skin of toad. Second is castorhamine, it is obtained from Canadian beaver. Then muscopyridine from musk deer. Saxitoxin is obtained from red tide. Alkaloids from microorganisms. Pyocyanin from Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So these are the few examples of the alkaloids obtained from various natural sources. Coming to the function of alkaloids in plants. Basically, these secondary metabolites are synthesized by the plant for their own defense mechanism. Alkaloids are bitter in taste. Due to this bitter taste, they prevent or protect themselves from herbivores. And most of the alkaloids also act against the insect. Alkaloids are the final products of detoxification in metabolic reactions. Therefore, they are considered as waste product of metabolism. Third function, alkaloid is a nitrogen containing base. So in case of nitrogen deficiency, plant can use these alkaloids. Some of the growth regulators also synthesized from these alkaloids. Next is these alkaloids may be utilized as a source of energy in deficiency of carbon dioxide assimilation. So these are a few of the functions of the alkaloids. Coming to our next step, that one is the classifications of alkaloids. Alkaloids are broadly classified into different categories. First one is based on its pharmacological action. Second one based on its taxonomical classification. Then biosynthetic pathways. Next based on its chemical nature. Let's see one by one what are those. Pharmacological classification, as the name indicates, so alkaloids are classified based on their physiological response. Narcotic analgesic, morphine. Few examples: antimalarial, quinine; antitussive, codeine; bronchodilator, ephedrine; myotic and anti-glucomatic, pilocarpine. This pilocarpine is till today is in practice. CNS stimulant, caffeine, it's a well-known alkaloid. Disadvantage of this classification: this method does not take into the account of chemical nature of the drug. The method does not take into the account of the chemical nature of crude drugs. Second one, within the same drugs, the individual alkaloids may exhibit different type of action. Let me give an example. Suppose morphine, which is present in opium, shows narcotic analgesic activity, whereas the codeine, which is also present in opium, mainly show antitussive activity. In case of cinchona, quinine shows antimalarial activity, while quinidine shows cardiac depressant activity. Next is taxonomical classification. Based on the taxonomical profile of the plant, this classification has been obtained. Rubiaceous alkaloid, mainly found in cinchona species. Then cannabinous alkaloid, mainly found in Cannabis sativa. Solanaceous alkaloid, mainly in Atropa, Hyoscyamus, Ashwagandha. The disadvantage of this method is, this method does not detail about the chemical nature and the therapeutic or pharmacological profile of the alkaloid. Then the biosynthetic classification. Here, this classification is based on the precursor, means the first compound from which the alkaloid is biosynthesized in the plant. Let me give a few examples. Suppose indole alkaloid, vinca alkaloid, vincristine, vinblastine. They obtained from tryptophan, whereas piperidine obtained from precursor lysine. Similarly, pyrrolidine from ornithine. Like that, so many examples here we have mentioned. Disadvantage of this method does not detail about the chemical nature or pharmacological profile of the alkaloid. Next, fourth one is the chemical classification. It is the most important one. There are mainly three types of alkaloid: true alkaloid, proto-alkaloid, and pseudo-alkaloids. True alkaloid means they contain one or more nitrogen atom inside heterocyclic nucleus. I repeat, inside heterocyclic nucleus, which is derived from amino acid. Atropine, nicotine, morphine are the examples of such true alkaloid. Coming to the next one, protoalkaloid. They also contain nitrogen, but this nitrogen is not present inside the heterocyclic ring. Generally, they are present outside the heterocyclic ring. Such example is ephedrine. Next one is pseudoalkaloid. These alkaloids are not originated from any amino acid. Conicin, steroidal alkaloid. Caffeine is a purine alkaloid. So they don't originate from any amino acid. So based on these true alkaloid, there are different types of alkaloids has been classified based on the nitrogen present in the heterocyclic nucleus, pyrrole and pyrrolidine ring, pyridine, piperidine ring, pyrrozolidine ring. Here we have mentioned various examples. Such a few more include tropane alkaloid, hyoscyamin, atropine, all these things, quinoline, quinine, quinidine, then isoquinoline, papaverine, narcine, all this comes under the true alkaloids. Then indole alkaloids, reserpine, eomine, ergot alkaloids. Next one is imidazole, pilocarpine, then norlupinine, means cysteine, all these examples, so many are there. Next one is phenyl ethyl amine derivatives like ephedrine. So you can see here the nitrogen is present outside the heterocyclic nucleus. That's why they are known as protoalkaloid. Next, benzylamine, capsaicin, all these nitrogens are present outside heterocyclic nucleus. Then pseudoalkaloids, diterpene, steroid nucleus, then purine alkaloid, the caffeine, what we have mentioned. So in brief, that was the classification of alkaloid. Now next, coming to the extraction of alkaloid. You see, the extraction of alkaloid is very important, and this extraction is based on very simple principle of the solubility of alkaloid. Alkaloid in free form, means in base form, they are soluble in organic solvent, whereas insoluble in water. Whereas the alkaloidal salts are soluble in water and insoluble in organic solvent. These are the very fundamental steps of extraction of alkaloid. First step is defatting. What defatting means? Removal of fatty substances like waxes, terpenes, pigments and other lipophilic substance which may interfere with the alkaloidal extraction. Generally, for defatting, petroleum ether or N-hexane is used as the solvent. Now, this defatted material is subjected for the extraction of alkaloid, which is known as Stas-Otto method. Let's see step by step what are those. In Stas-Otto method, the defatted material is moistened with water and treated with alkali. Once these treated with alkali, alkaloidal salts will be converted to its free form. So free alkaloidal base will liberate. This alkalization generally has been performed with aqueous ammonia, calcium carbonate solution, or sometimes mixture of calcium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. Here you see the calcium carbonate or suppose lime we are using, because the polyphenolic compounds like tannins and other carboxylic acid derivatives, they combine with the base and they separated out from this mixture of alkaloid. This free base, as in the first step only I mentioned, this free base are soluble in organic solvent. Now treat the free base with the organic solvents like chloroform, ethyl acetate or diethyl ether and subject it for either Soxhlet or counter current extraction. Now in the third step, the organic solvent which contains alkaloidal base are concentrated under reduced pressure and treat with acidified water. Generally pH 2 to 3 is maintained with the acidified water. Now you see here there are two phases. One is organic phase, second one is aqueous phase. Now, the alkaloids are transferred to the aqueous phase as alkaloidal salts, and the non-alkaloidal impurities are present in the organic layer. This helps in the removal of the pigments, sugar and other organic constituents. Next phase is almost the repetition of the previous phase. This aqueous phase is made alkaline once again, so that whatever the alkaloidal salts are present will be converted to in its base form or free form, and then it is again extracted to their organic solvent. This process is repeated until all the alkaloids has gone into the organic phase. In brief, these are the extraction method what I have discussed just now. So this is the flowchart of the Stas-Otto method. Now coming to the chemical test, there are 4 chemical tests for alkaloid. First one is Dragendorf test. In Dragendorf test, you remember, my dear friends, all these 4 tests, Dragendorf test, Mayer's test, Wagner's test and Hager test, all these are precipitate reaction. In all the reagents you will get the alkaloidal precipitate. Now Dragendorf reagent is potassium bismuth iodide. Here you will find reddish brown precipitate. So how to correlate with that? Bismuth, brown, bismuth and brown. Next is Mayer's test. Here you will find potassium mercuric iodide. So in general there may be a confusion in the Dragendorf reagent and Mayer's reagent. How to remember it? Mayer's M and mercuric iodide M. So both are correlated with each other. Next is Wagner test. Here you will get the brown precipitate. Wagner reagent is iodine potassium iodide solution, whereas in Hager test you will find the yellow precipitate. Hager's reagent is saturated solution of picric acid. So these are very important chemical tests, general chemical tests to identify the presence of alkaloid qualitatively. So this completes today's topic. Hope I able to give you a brief information regarding all the aspects of the carbohydrates. Thank you.